I'm gonna bring the Dunbarton, January 9th, 2025, Board of Selectmen meeting to order. All three selectmen are present, town administrator is present, Don Larson's present, police chief's present, and Leo Martell is videoing with Linda Nickerson uploading that to YouTube and the town report. Thanks for attending tonight, Chris.
Of course, thank you.
Okay. Did you want a few? Okay, let's, we have some old meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of December 19th, 2024.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded, any discussion? Being said, all in favor?
Aye. I'll make another motion to approve the non-public meeting minutes of December 19th, 2024 as amended.
And do you want them sealed, Justin?
Yes.
We planned on sealing them.
I looked at those again, I didn't see anything in there that was derogatory or.
No, I think we had names in my original.
Right, but the thing is, do they need to be sealed based upon what we?
I think if we attach them with this, they should be, cause this should be part of the public, my handwritten stuff.
Okay,
But,
cause it's pretty generic.
yeah, I agree with you after reading these, but I think we'll go ahead and seal them just because they leave my original in there
Alright,
attached.
Yeah, we're gonna leave your original.
So motion's been made and second, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
There you go, Mike. Let me give this to you to seal them up when you're done, okay?
thank you.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Mike, for bringing that up. Okay. Next, I'm gonna bring it back, any public comment, anybody not on the agenda? Go ahead, Leo.
Yeah, I was asked to find out where, the electrician is at with the lights on the cupola, on the bandstand.
Lights on.
Work in progress, I have been so straight out busy.
Okay, so it's
I
not,
was not aware they were called to the town to work on the library. If I had known,
okay.
I would have
Okay,
said,
yeah,
schedule them for that,
they,
but
they asked me
it's-
this past weekend if I could
I
find out.
meant to, I was going to send an
That was
email.
quite a while back, wasn't it?
No,
Well, about
19, yeah, couple
about
of
two,
last
night.
meeting,
about 2 meetings ago,
Yeah.
so not bad.
Okay,
but it's still on my
Okay,
things to do.
alright, so I can let them know that, still in a work in progress.
Yep, and the person I would call is probably Donna for specifics, right, because she was over there looking at it?
Yeah, right, but I think it's just a matter of the electrician looking at what, you know.
Yep.
There's been work done over there, maybe, you know, they interrupted that, or they took their circuit, or whatever, you know.
Maybe you want
But,
something
anyways,
sealed.
just want to let you know that they were asking,
okay.
and I'll let them know.
You're gonna make a note, Lean, so I don't have to worry about it?
Yeah, I've got it right on my papers here. Yeah.
Lean, that's running, right?
Yes, it is.
You wanna give that back for us to sign across it, or you get some tape?
Yeah, I'm gonna take.
Okay. All right, John, I'm gonna move on to you then.
Okay.
So you're in here for a flag ceremony on the town common.
Yeah.
And also you had a question about the town report insert page. Okay,
One sheet here.
look at these nice sheets. Provide the best stuff for us. I'll give a copy of this to Jennifer too.
Okay.
This is,
For you.
You see all the selectmen are getting wood racks, it looks like,
nice.
And the fire pits.
and fire pits.
Do we need to sign across this, Lee? The tape?
Yeah, just
Okay.
scribble.
So Don's request here is to, he wants to, be respectful with the disposal of American flags. He's done this one other time. He has participants that come, New Hampshire Sons of the American Revolution, Honor Guard, Dunbarton Bow Troop 75 of the Boy and Girl Scouts, Dunbarton Boy and Girl Scouts from Dunbarton 4-H, Dunbarton Post 116, American Legion,
And we also could have the Dunbarton Police Department present also.
Okay, do you wanna confirm that with him? Put him right on the spot. You might wanna have the fire department there, never mind the police.
Bring our fire extinguisher.
But anyway, I don't have an issue with it myself, cause I've done it once before, but they actually burn them up above the grass, so the grass doesn't get burnt. The date on here will be February 3rd through the 14th, so hopefully
Well,
this,
no, that is for the raffle for the wood
oh,
thing.
where's the other date, Don, did I miss it?
The top, very
The
top.
picture in the bottom right corner,
February
I'm
17th.
gonna raffle that off with full of wood, pine, cause that's what we're gonna use to burn the, in the fire pit. But, I was wondering if, we could sell the raffle tickets at the town office.
The thing is, you make, I don't feel comfortable making our employees collect money for you during their, I mean, I'm paying them to do work for the town, but,
Right.
and, I don't know, I'm gonna defer to
We
Lean.
do it for the firefighters association, because people don't, there's never anyone at the fire department,
Right,
and they wanna come here.
for the barbecue you're talking about,
Yeah,
yeah.
so,
Well, I would say, if the lady's got a free raffle ticket, maybe.
I
No,
don't have any problem with it.
I don't wanna get overwhelmed with, you know, again, this is the busy time of the year, budget season, all that kinda stuff. And we're making them like, do something which is not part of their jobs, and we're, just, I don't feel comfortable with that. Gentlemen, I don't know, I'll defer to Lean, I really like to defer to Lean.
It's
I don't-
February 17th,
yeah, it's in a few weeks, it's
Yeah.
after our public hearing. At this point, I think the end of year business is already coming behind us. We'll be preparing for other things to come up, but I don't know that it should take that much out of our time if he drops off an envelope with everything that we need.
I would just ask for security purposes, make sure you pick up once a week the ticket sold,
Oh, yeah.
the money.
Yeah, it will be just the first 2 weeks of February,
Okay,
so.
just don't let the money sit here.
Yeah.
I don't wanna have Lean responsible for breaking.
so let's go back, does anybody have any trouble with them burning them on the town common?
And I think he's doing it the smart way.
Justin? Okay, do
All right.
you have a consensus from the board to do this on the town common? Thanks for coming to ask.
All right.
So we'll
One
drive by and see that.
question I got for, you know, the heart that we made during COVID, is there any chance that we could put that in the
Burn that too?
bandstand? You know, for the first 2 weeks of February, and people could come and get pictures in the heart of Dunbarton?
I didn't even know there was a heart for COVID, but, I again don't have any problem with that, I don't know if you wanna.
People use the bandstand for a lot of different things, prayer,
Will it be off to one
meditation.
side, Don?
Yeah, it would be back, so it wouldn't be hanging from the center, it'd be, you
So
know,
they could still
It
sit
would be
down?
like
yeah,
towards the back side.
Is
yeah,
this a-
toward the road side.
Is this a for-profit operation?
No.
Huh?
Is this a for-profit in other words, are you gonna sell pictures to people, tell people to buy pictures from you?
No, it's just, anybody who wants to come.
Okay, in other words, it's just, you don't
Yeah,
want it as a,
there's no,
okay,
yeah, no,
This is for
it's a
Valentine's
freebie.
Day?
a freebie, okay.
It's a freebie.
I have no problem with that.
Bring your sweetheart up on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Make her walk up the hill.
Alright, you're 2-0, you wanna give up?
I better leave while the getting's good
You
here.
had one more,
Uh-oh.
you had one more, town report.
Oh,
Lena, I was
yeah,
trying to make him leave with
I'm
2-0.
I'm looking for to be, my recent flags on the inside cover, the front cover.
I like it on the back cover myself, but that's just me, I just think that more town stuff should go in the front.
So this is what we put there last year, a lot of times it's blank and it says dedication of this photo to whatever, it doesn't always happen like that, but he's had it in the back in the past. So this year he's asking to place this in the front.
I like the placement in the back is, I think, fine. I think I like to reserve that in case we wanted to put anything up there.
I look better in the back.
Because we have all the, remember how we just, the index is all the town activities up front and all the non-town, incidentals like non-governmental agencies are all towards the rear. And the thing is, I don't wanna look at this as we're endorsing that either, which I think is a good deal, but the thing is, it's not our place as officials to be making this an endorsement. Because you're actually paying for this.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
paid for
Yeah,
it.
exactly. And the thing is, I don't want to be perceived as an endorsement of that, by putting it right in the front.
Well, again, I just
All
feel
the
like,
benefits
feel
of
like
flag
everything
across
from
Dunbarton Gold
the town is.
benefit the town of Dunbarton, right?
Yeah.
How
And
much-
supported, this year we had over 100 donations from residents.
And we're charging them for the page?
Yeah, it's about $230.
That's about two,
$250.
270 or.
I don't know if it's that much, but for colored
All the
copy.
benefit of that whole thing goes to the town of Dunbarton, it's crazy that we're charging for the page, I think.
There is a cost associated with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's a cost associated with it.
Anyone who requests colored copy pays for the color. Garden Club's gonna do it in color again this year, they're paying.
There you go.
Historical Society decided they did not wanna pay for color.
And
Okay,
remember,
so if other ones do colors and
and
that.
remember, we're limited by the number of pages we have. We have our biggest abuser in the audience now of being too long-winded in his presentation. And if we, I say that with tongue in cheek.
I cut it in half this year just for you.
Okay, thank you.
He's gonna be doing his own reports and his own binder.
No, but the thing is, we are limited by, what
The
we can
weight.
send, the weight
It's
of
the
the
weight
postage,
is
yeah.
the issue that I stress over towards the end.
Okay, so I guess what they say is 2 out of 3 is not bad.
Okay, well, 2 out of 3, I thought that's where you were voted, 2, 4.
I guess we'd like to keep it in the back as a consensus, I think.
So I got the back, inside back page.
Yes,
again.
Yes,
Okay,
alright,
alright, that'll work.
and you get the front page on everything else you came for. Thank you, Don, thanks for the pictures.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Chief, I just couldn't resist.
Oh, that's fine. I saw it coming.
Would
okay.
you like to participate in that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll, do you know what time it's gonna be that day?
I haven't set the time yet, I got it lined up, and it may be, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, depending
Okay, the
on
next-
when the honor guard.
Next thing on the agenda, we're
Just
gonna
let me
review
know.
encumbrances.
Yeah.
No, we're actually gonna.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, you're correct. I'm
Good
sorry.
evening.
Take care, Doc.
Thank you, Don,
You're welcome.
2024.
So, this, as we all know, has been requested by the auditor that any encumbrances be reviewed by the board. I had to take it one step further. I had a request come in at the beginning of January, asking to expend encumbrances from 2023, and then the remainder from 2024. The date of the invoice was 12/31/2024. The combination of using 2 years' worth of encumbrances for this purchase, kind of confused me some, so I reached out to our auditor for clarification, and he was able to enlighten us in what we really should be using our encumbrances for, and which ones would not qualify for encumbrances. It's very detailed in his email response. You have that on the front of that.
Okay, all of these encumbrances have been paid except for which ones, Lean, that's the only.
Okay, so Sousa, I lowered it from the original price, it was at 5,000 change. They came in with a modified smaller sign, so that's a true 4688 encumbrance. We put 50% down, we're actually paying it next week. So that is a true encumbrance, we have a contract signed for that. The heating, AC for the fire and police, that has been partially installed. We've paid 50% of the 24,531, so that is a true encumbrance.
So we're still waiting for the AC to be finished.
Correct, I think there was, I'm not sure exactly where he's at with that. The portable radios for the, purchase order, that was a PO in November, and I'm not, what, do you have the one with the markups on it? I'm not sure if that's been paid, it may have been paid,
Hold on.
but typically when a purchase order is put in, submitted with the office,
Paid
what happens
11,
is,
14, 24.
they don't know if it's gonna be in for the, end of the year, and so we put it in as a placeholder, knowing that it's a valid purchase and that we can encumber those funds. The chain link fence repairs for the, transfer station, those were approved at a previous board meeting. They came in last week to install them. We're still waiting for the bills on that. I don't think we received the bills, but the work has been done, so that is a true encumbrance,
Would-
signed,
Woody has it too. You should see it this week.
okay.
He-
So that's a true, signed, contract.
Come out.
The dispatch, services, we encumbered that at the request of the chief. We have a multi-year, 3-year contract for dispatch services. They were behind schedule in their billing. Chris, asked that we encumber the funds for the, third and fourth quarter period, because he did not want his budget to look like it had more money than it really did. So, that is a true encumbrance, and they've already been paid. It was paid at the end of December.
Oh, those have been paid, okay.
Yeah, they were paid.
Alright,
those
so
are
we're really not encumbering it.
No, but these are entered in the system, and the whole point behind an
Hold on a
encumbrance,
second,
what?
was it paid out of this year's budget,
It was paid out of 2024's budget.
and was it encumbered from 2023?
No, it was encumbered for 2024.
When
See,
was
they-
it encumbered?
Chris asked us to encumber it on December 17th.
Okay, and they got paid,
And then the very next week, they
The
were
bill
able to
came
come
in,
through and
okay.
pay it. But it's just there's a lot of things that are going on in the office, and for the department head to say, geez, I forgot to get this to you, or I know it's outstanding there. These are the mechanisms that we put in place that help us make sure that.
That's being proactive though, in other words, you don't know if the bill's gonna come next year, but if it
A
doesn't.
lot, we do,
yeah.
I actually have, almost $2,000 in official bills that were for services in December, like telephone bills and, a few other items. MRI just gave us one for $85 for services and hours worked in December. We have to post those expenses to the old year, cause that's a commitment that the service was rendered, we just didn't get the bill, and that we have that happen on a regular basis. Those we would not encumber, but you'll see that in next, budget discussion in a couple of weeks, your lapsing surplus will continue to go down slightly because of these unknowns that.
Last
crop
minute
up.
bills, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
The next one, the fire department helmet, you have the paperwork support in your in your folder, the garment repair, the rubber boots, and the jacket, letters, repairs, and pants. Those were all placed by the chief in early December. He provided that for us because he said that when he puts these orders in, they will only bill us for the pieces that they fill. So the pants, for example, we have paid for 2 of the 3 pair of pants. So they either had them in stock, and the 3rd pair, the
but we're
size.
safe with it because it's listed as an order acknowledgement.
Correct, and that's what
So the
that's what is
services that-
identified by the auditor as an acceptable encumbrance. Gravestone repair, bench install, and bench and grave quotes. I have 3 quotes that the board approved at the last meeting to encumber these, but
Did you
based,
skip the safe?
that's next, that's after, what's on, not, that's the
Oh,
next
I'm
item.
looking at this little one here, is that what?
What's that? Oh, that's for the last one, that's the assessing billable hours. Remember a couple years ago, we got burnt in like February, and I had to come back to the board and say, hey, listen, we still owe $8,000 to MRI, because we didn't realize that on the bill, their invoices, they list the number of hours by the assessor that comes out to do the annual pickups, but they charge us 0, and then they bill us all at once.
So that's not in this encumbered list?
Yes, it is, it's $8,023,
Oh, down, way down the bottom.
yeah.
So what's this one, out of order?
Oh, it might be, I don't know.
Okay. So the rubber boots we did,
So all the fire departments are valid. We're up to the cemetery, 3 gravestone bench and quotes. According to what the auditors has advised us on, in order for us to be able to encumber those funds, the $600 was actually installed in 2024, so that one's gone. So even though I encumbered it, it was done and paid for in 2024. The $1,250 and the $1,463 for the bench and grave and the gravestone repair, those are not technically commitments for services, they're just dollar amounts either quoted on a statement, email, or something to that. Find it?
Well, the bench, the bench was not installed. The bench, that's $600, they aren't installed. And $600 is for a contractor to pick the benches up from Swenson, come here and install them, and that was not.
J&J gave us a bill for bench install, $600, that's not what it was for?
That's what it's for, but it is not done.
Well, why did he give us an invoice for work done when he didn't do the work?
Cause maybe you asked for an invoice so it can be encumbered. Cause
Did we pay them before? It might be in the,
no, that's why it's getting encumbered. It hasn't been paid.
we just paid a bill for $600 for J&J.
Did they come and do it this week?
We just had a meeting Tuesday and it hadn't been done, so unless he came Wednesday.
I'll look at the, okay.
So actually, this list, this encumbered list will change next week, because some of these items have been paid.
Right, but
So
this
those
doesn't go
will-
away, we match it to an expense account, and then that's what the auditor looks at, is what you put aside, whether it's a valid encumbrance, and then what you paid, to make sure that it matches that, money that you reserved.
Okay.
So how do you get the gravestone repair? How do you earmark that money for that gravestone?
You have to have a, what did you call it in the front, a commitment of a,
I'll read it to us after, but let's go on with this list first, then. we'll
okay,
go
and
through
then, after these three, there's the fire rated cabinet that the board approved and said that if Jennifer was interested in pursuing that, she could do that. So I utilized this quote that she gave me in error, thinking that she was going to place the order. When I spoke to her last week, she said I asked her if she had finished the order a couple weeks ago, if she had finalized the order, and she said she hadn't had time to really look at it, and she wasn't sure 100% if it was gonna be the right fit for the office. So if we needed to, we can wait on it. So it's in here because I put it in as a placeholder.
So
She did not finalize the order, so therefore it doesn't qualify, so I'm gonna have to remove it based on the information that the auditor's given us. And
what money, where was that money coming out of?
her election line,
So she'll no longer have that this coming 2025 season. So what I would start is a list of items we might have to adjust the budget by when we review the final budget, whether it's for our maintenance line or for their department to, if they still want these items.
she said that she's gonna hold off on it personally.
A whole year though?
Yep.
And what, see if we have money to encumber next year?
I don't know, I think that she wasn't expecting the positive response from the board, and said, this is what I would like to do in my office, but after thinking about the floor, the weight,
I
the
know, but I
location.
just wanna have
You wanna,
money.
you wanna plus up the individual budgets if they decide to
If we
execute.
need, cause she's gonna come to us, Lean, and want
Okay.
this,
Yeah.
Okay,
and we'll have no money to get it from
And
anywhere.
it's not really maintenance either,
Right, so it's, we have used maintenance money for stuff.
for stuff like that, but this, it makes it cleaner by doing it your way.
Right, put it in our budget line.
Right.
So what I'd like to do is make a note, so when we go back to our budgets,
yeah,
We add that to the budget, to her budget.
if we agree as a board to do that.
Correct.
Yeah,
It makes it
the
cleaner.
other thing to do is to move that money into, we have in the administration budget, office equipment and repairs. And I usually leave it at the $2,500, but by leaving it there, if it's not needed, it's in a holding that needs to be
so
approved.
put yourself a note, we'll discuss it at
Yeah.
our budget meeting.
Plus it up by that amount, at least approximately that amount.
Okay, so.
I agree with that, that makes sense.
Now, where's Justin's,
So
So-
I did around 4,000.
so because Justin's is similar,
Mm-hmm.
and we have quotes only, your proposals. And they're not an invoice or an order,
Yes, that's
that's on
correct.
hand, which I'm gonna read into in a little bit here. So, all items for Justin for the transfer station,
Okay,
you'll have to look at plussing out,
for the cemetery.
Cemetery,
I
not
mean-
transfer station.
I mean cemetery, I apologize. For Justin for the cemetery, we'll look at having to plus up his line items to cover these, cause it will not come out of this year's budget. So all these items will be going back into the general fund.
Okay, so the-
If we don't do it proactive, right, they'll go back to
They
general
have to,
fund.
they can't be
It's too
encumbered.
late.
Plus up the
It's,
budget
it's too
program.
late for this year, so that, this will lapse the surplus. You
Yes.
want me to add and increase these line items by these,
Yeah, cause we already told that guy for the gravestone repair to do it, it's just he never got to it, and that's for one of the largest monuments down on Pages.
Yeah,
So it's-
I honestly, I think
So-
we're gonna make it work.
Yeah,
The other thing we all have to remember is we have to try and do this stuff by the 1st of December, so we get this stuff rolling, cause, well, I'll read that letter anyway afterwards as far as the encumbrances, but, now, what do I have here, one from, Proactive Clothing still,
I think that's it, the other one is the MRI assessing bill, and because they have a contract with us to provide services and the hourly rate for,
you have one here for Sousa Signs,
yeah, that was just because that's my complete file, when the auditor
Oh.
audits my file, I have to provide proof that I have a
So,
contract of some sort.
Sousa Signs been ordered, are we encumbering it?
Yes, we encumbered 4688, I reduced it, cause the first one was over 5. The
Is
new
this-
one,
The sign, they give a
The
a
sign,
discount on the sign size.
yeah, so the new sign was 4688.
And so what I'm trying to ask you, do you have an actual order for it?
I do, it's in that packet.
Okay, I'm reading quote.
It's closer to the front, cause it's the first one on the list.
Oh, you think it's, the original?
I think so, yeah.
Okay,
That's
You guys
fantastic.
gave me the go-ahead to get the price, cause John had said in the meeting that the price came in lower, and you said, once you get that price, go ahead and make it happen, so I signed it and scanned it to him. That's a binding contract.
okay. Cause it's a signature page on a quote?
Yep.
Okay,
Okay, and he wanted 50% down.
okay. Yeah, that's for a signature right on this, and it turns the quote into one order.
Yeah,
And you have one here for Woody's department encumbered on here too, or asked to be encumbered, right?
yeah.
What
No,
is
it's
that?
not in there. That came in this week, so I brought this, it's on the front of the folder.
So Woody brought one in this week, which he did an order for at the end of the year. And what kinda brought this to the head was, I'll show it to you guys. He had an encumbrance from 2023 for buying all the bushings and pins to replace all of them on the backhoe and loader that we have down the transfer station. So, he had two estimates, and the one he decided to go with was from John Deere down in Concord there. And it's now called United Equipment,
No, that's a different
United
company now.
Construction.
He went with a
and Forestry.
completely different company now.
Yeah, that's what I'm giving it, it's
Oh,
United.
okay,
Alright, so, he thought, Lean had thought when we talked earlier, he only had this PB&H one, for 4,900. He didn't, he had both quotes in this system, well, this one actually says invoice on it, PB&H. Estimate, invoice. So anyway, he went with United, ordered the product, and, said to use encumbered funds from 2023. Well, when you change companies from PB&H to United, you sure as encumbrance was for PB&H?
Yeah, look at the date on that PB&H, that's a 2023 encumbrance, and what should have happened is, should have been put on a credit card, and it wasn't.
Cause
It
he
was-
told me he had quotes from both companies.
No, he did not provide us with quotes from,
What he told me he did is he took his copy of the quote from United, cause the quote was so old, and provided it to them so they could list all these parts down. So he has these on order now. And, I checked with him today, cause I told him, I said, we're gonna end up pushing this to 2025 budget. And he said, I don't have anything in my 2025 budget, but one thing he still has, and I don't know if we can use it, but we have the 2024 budget, he can actually expense these right out.
it's gone, December 31st, that's what the auditor said, right?
Yeah, but you're still taking bills in,
That's for obligated bills, it's a
this
telephone
is
bill.
obligated.
No, it's not, it hasn't been processed.
Parts invoice, right
It
here.
hasn't been processed, it hasn't been charged on a credit card, it hasn't been invoiced.
We have an
it's-
account with them, Town of Dunbar, 12/31/24 invoice. This is invoice.
That's what he did with the P&G, and he never put it through. He created a cart,
I
put
don't
all the
know, I'm
parts
telling
in
you,
there.
this is invoice.
I know that, but the way that all of his quotes come in, a lot of them come in, they look like a valid invoice, but they've never gone through. You
I
have
just
to-
talked to him today, so this is invoice lane.
Mhm.
Oh. We're gonna owe this company, so our decision tonight is whether we use funds he already has excess in 2024,
Yep,
or use 2025 funds, which he doesn't have in his budget.
but it's not gonna be from 2023.
So we either need to do, right, you're correct, it's not gonna be from 2023.
Yep,
So what we need to do is either use him out of his 2024 budget from us, or bump up his budget in 2025.
How did he make the when was that dated? December 31st. The thing is, we had a cutoff of expenditures.
15th.
Of the 15th. Why is this coming in at the nth hour when they can't even speak to the selectmen because we're not working on Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve? And I think we should just reject it outright. How did he pay for it?
It's on account, we have an account
Okay.
with the
I was
company,
gonna say, we can't reject it now, it's been ordered.
then ordered.
that's what we thought with the P&G.
So our only question is, do we make him use his 2025 budget, or do we use the 2024, which he has left
I think
over?
the 2025 budget would be cleaner for accounting purposes. Because here we are we're going back to last year to,
Well, I think when you get a bill in and it's invoiced in 24, you have to use the 24 budget myself, but.
that's the point taken, I
Yeah.
agree with you. But,
I was thinking we could go either way too, but we probably can't.
He has the
What are
funds,
we gonna take it out of? Building
he has
maintenance?
the funds.
No, he has,
He has money
his
on
funds, he has
his
like 25,000.
He has 24,000 in his budget from 2024. The
And he
issue,
still has some bills coming in, which I called him to call on him today. He has 2 repairs coming in, the guy hasn't sent his invoices in, and he has 2 other smaller invoices still coming in.
can you understand my dilemma as to why we
I do.
implemented this policy so that we
I
are?
understand it all, I've been
Okay.
here for 9 years
Okay.
implementing this policy with you.
Yep.
the thing is, I think it's sad that he committed the town on December 31st. To me, that's outright, how can I put it? It's outright disregard of town
Well, I
policy.
think we're gonna, I'm gonna read you guys this memo, and we're gonna make each of the department heads understand this. I'm just gonna go into a few things because Lean checked into this, and I had her send out a copy to all you guys so you could read it a little bit today. But basically, these encumbrances are made, so when you have something at the end of a fiscal year, and you have a purchase that hasn't come in, these are taken care of normally in the first quarter of the following year.
Mhm.
They give you a full year on the encumbrances to use it in case of delays. Say product didn't come in or something, so you couldn't get the parts, they give you the full year. But as an accounting project, they like it to be done in the first quarter if possible. And everything should have an invoice or an obligation to the town where the town is committed to it, like this invoice here. It should be not done on an estimate, and, no quotes or estimates should be used because it's not a binding contract or agreement with the town. So, and the other thing says, you cannot use encumbrances from a prior year. It always goes to surplus, so 2023 surplus encumbrances expire.
So it really needs to be products and not services.
Well,
Because
It
how
can
do
be
you-
both.
It could be,
Yeah, but
it could be
how-
cer-
Yeah, but how do you get invoiced for a service that hasn't been rendered in a prior year?
you have a contract in place,
But that's what an estimate is. That's
Because-
what the monument repair is for us.
but there's no, it has to have a signature that you've accepted this estimate,
We do.
and they agree to charge us or bill us for that amount of money.
I
when the
guarantee I
service is
have one
done.
for that.
Okay,
Is this one?
That's why I'm trying to understand why it's not accepted, because how is a estimate for a service not accepted as encumbrance.
Let me
Because
just read
that's
this
the only
one
way
thing.
nobody will invoice you before a service is rendered.
Mm.
I wouldn't invoice you before a service is rendered.
Yeah, but you give me an estimate, I'm gonna go and, I'm gonna enter into a contract with you, it's contract law, I'm gonna enter into a contract with you. I agree to pay you,
understand.
yeah, that should be fine.
Yeah,
If you got that, that should be not an issue.
but to say an estimate's not valid is,
I think, I
Incorrect.
think an estimate is valid, like, she signed that one estimate,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
made it part of our contract.
Becomes a
Chris has
contract.
provided ones
Becomes a
like that for
contract.
us as
But on
well.
occasion, I've gotten an email blurb that said, I'll do this work between $1,200 and $1,400. And that's been given to me as an encumbrance. Well, that's not a valid encumbrance. It should be a document that says, the work to perform is for this, this, and this, and to be, not to exceed this dollar amount.
Yeah, like-
They sign it, you sign it, whatever, and then it's
Yeah,
voted
my-
on at a meeting.
my quotes in there are only estimates, but the services have been rendered, and now you guys are receiving the invoices that I sent to Woody last week.
One of those is just an email with quotes on an email. Or-
Both of them are sent. That's two emails.
Yep, just to know,
Yeah,
those are both signed.
both estimates.
I think we just gotta tighten up our, I saw at the end of the article.
Well, it does say proposal slash contract on yours, though, so
Yeah,
it kind of,
The thing is, I think we
Which
just
one
need
is
to,
that for?
I was just looking at Justin's.
I know, but which one is that for?
Oh, both
There's
of
two
them
of
are saying,
the,
525.
Oh, no, his are perfect.
Yeah.
The
No,
fi-
we're
the
just
fencing,
saying,
it's
that
the
we're trying to look at
cemetery
the
one.
difference, Lean,
Right, the
between,
cemetery one.
his were estimates,
Yeah,
but they say proposal slash contract.
correct, and, yeah,
Okay.
I would recommend, the email that was sent, if you notice, the last thing she said, we should probably delineate our policy, just put in simple steps, this is what A, B, and C.
Well, I think
do
this copy
Well,
of
again,
this
if
letter
an
from
estimate's gonna be
the
used, it
attorney,
needs to be signed by both parties.
Yes,
Exactly,
exactly.
exactly, totally agree.
Yep.
And we just gotta, codify that in a document.
Cause in the past, we have been told that estimates are fine, you need an estimate.
and
to
then,
get
and
covered.
then again, if it was done
Yeah,
on the
exactly.
15th, we could have asked for a signed copy of the estimate.
correct. Now, typically what you guys do with cemetery business is that you make a motion in your meeting to accept this quote. So then that allows us to get the next step, to have a document that says, yep, we
Yeah, we
approved
did.
it.
Now, let me ask
We
you
did
one
it
other
like-
thing here, cause
In like April for that, so if you,
I think we're
We can
getting
look
a
back
little
in the
too
minutes,
far,
right?
but since this is an invoice, and it is on 12/31, we can actually use the 2023.
2024, not the, oh,
It's encumbered in 2024, but 2023 money can be used on this.
What he said though is that you can't use it for one vendor to another vendor.
Yes, that is
So-
true.
So Dave, if P&G was a true
Now, you
contract,
keep bringing up P&G, when you did your encumbrances, did you say P&G?
yes,
Or
for
did you say
2023,
United? Yeah,
for 2023, I can give you the 2023 in that file. It's specific to P&G. So my frustration is, if that was a real contract, then we owe P&G all that money. If, do you see what I'm saying?
yes,
And
you're
but
looking at this estimate, he said he gave you two,
he did not give us two, he gave us that one.
why would he be remembering to give two?
I'm just saying, this is what we have in our files for encumbrances for 2023 to spend in 2024.
Well, why don't we just do it out as 2024 budget, that
And
way
we
it's
got-
clean.
right.
It has the
And
money
keep
in the
it-
budget.
The 2024 encompasses, 2023 is gone, and because it was invalid contract to start with.
But I will make sure to speak to him that anything past the 15th from now on, we're not gonna,
We've had
Label
boards
stuff.
before you that have told them to return the merchandise, and Flat said, no, the 31st is not,
the problem is they're gonna charge us if we
yeah,
return.
the charges, it's probably 25 or 30%
that's if it's gone
Resale.
through, because if they're,
None of it's gone through, you order it with those companies, you owe it.
well, why didn't we get it from the P&G, that's what I
But
don't
this
understand.
company was cheaper, no, it was the same. It's $5,000 versus $49.01.
I recommend that the manager, the department manager needs to be re-educated on how to, and I think all departments for that matter, on year-end purchases, encumbrances. Whether it be we draft the policy in simple steps, and the December 15th cutoff is a cutoff. And the only exception is if it's an emergency, the fire department had an issue, I think sometimes the police department could have an issue for emergency where they need to expend funds.
The memos go out annually, I've got documentation from.
They're right here.
He
One thing,
he violated the,
well, it says credit card purchases.
That Hope was assisting me in sending out emails, I'm trying to delegate.
Yeah.
But last year, exactly at the same time, a memo went out saying encumbrances need prior approval, and then credit cards cannot be made after
The 15th.
the 15th. It's just a
I just read the
nightmare.
memo.
Dave, I concur, I recommend we expend his funds for from the 2024, it was, it should in 2024, but that, and put it to bed.
Yeah.
But as a secondary, I think, would you
I
agree?
will draft up a policy
A
for the board,
policy.
for the
Would you
board to
agree?
consider.
Just so it's clear, to departments that they know
Wanna
what to
use the
do, what
wording
not to
there?
do.
Okay.
His wording is very clear here, I think.
You just paraphrase it and use it.
I mean, every year it seems we have invoices still coming in. I mean, we're always gonna have some come in. You know, like a guy did work a month ago, he's not sending you the invoice. I told Woody today, I said, call him, tell him we need him. You know, cause it's gonna be 2024 again. Okay. I'll put this back in the clipboard here. So you're clear to what we're gonna do on that one?
Yep,
Okay.
I need an invoice from him that shows that he placed that order, because that could be a screenshot or a cart. And the other thing is
Well, it says invoice right on it.
the credit card that is on that invoice is not a valid credit card, that's a personal credit card.
He says it's not a credit card at all. He says, we have an account with them, I don't know what that number is on there, he said.
It just says credit card, so if they have an account with, then I should have an invoice in the office that he has placed the order December 31st.
That's this one right here. Says placed 12/31/24, initialed by Woody, turned in on 1/2/25.
How is it, so nothing's been paid,
No, it's not been paid, it's just a bill to be paid.
He dropped it off on January 6th this week.
Again, it would've been nice to have it on the 15th.
It should've had it on the 30th or 31st, it was a Tuesday.
I see what he's trying to do, he's trying to use encumbrances, and since it was confusion with him, he didn't understand encumbrances, tried to use it and try to sneak it in the last minute, it doesn't work that way.
Well,
And
they gotta be quicker on when they do them, you know? like you said.
Exactly,
He knew about this since the beginning of last year, it should have been done.
If he had the money, and
And
he's
that's what
asked
I'm
us
gonna
several
talk about.
times over every month, what are my encumbrances, he could have placed that
I'm
order
not waiting
anytime.
anymore like that. It's just
But
ridiculous.
I look forward to seeing the policy, Lee.
He's gotta have policy after policy, huh?
Well, the thing is, sometimes if you don't put it in writing, it's hearsay.
Yeah. Okay, now revenues, Lean.
All right, I'll just try to get through this very quickly. These are your standard revenues, the categories that have several line items are in the same category. For the purpose of simplicity, we just put one total for the whole group. So for category 3120 land use change tax, I bumped it up to 70,000 by 10,000 to 70. We collected 90,175 in 2024, which was actually double that, because 50% goes to conservation. I've heard of one particular subdivision that's going to be coming forward, and which it will be a substantial subdivision, so I think that 70,000 is a fair number. Our land transfers are still fairly high. Yield tax, last year I set it at $5,000. We collected 33,042. I bumped it up to 10,000. Again, that's a hit or miss. You can have premium stock and not.
I think 10 is fine.
But 10, I think, is a reasonable dollar amount. The next category, 3186 and 3189 are other taxes. I left it flat at $500. Those are typically late payments and whatnot that the collector will collect. The next group is 3190, interest on taxes. And the system breaks it down in different categories. we just budget the flat 10,000. We came in at 7,161. Again, what that decrease in our projection, it decreases our overall income by $3,000, but 10,000 has been the going price. You guys feel okay with that? We can reduce it to 7 if you choose. Okay with that? Business licenses from motor vehicle, last year we bumped that up to $775. This year we came in at $863,360. I left it at the $775 that we had last year. That was about a $50,000 increase from prior years. And again, as cars get older, the collections are reduced somewhat, and I just don't wanna over budget that and then deplete the revenues or the surplus. The board okay with that, or do you wanna increase it?
Bring it up to 800, 205,000 more.
Okay, can I just say,
Right.
it was in the paper and the news that, the state is gonna be doing budget cuts because the revenues are down.
Yeah, so that won't be on this, but it will be on your
It's gonna be on
meals
roads,
and rooms.
Right.
I saw the same thing, I was gonna say that to you,
so,
775, fine.
are we okay with that?
yeah.
Alright, building permits, I bumped it up to, 40,000. We collected 54,000 through 2024.
Now, Lee, two of our big subdivisions are almost done,
Yep, there's one on Twist Hill that's coming up.
a subdivision.
Yep. The Audette property just transferred and they were before the planning board. Were you at that one, Brian,
No,
Justin?
no, I missed that meeting, he came in, I guess,
How many acres?
That is a 55 acres and they were pursuing,
7,
cluster housing or something.
yeah, he had a couple different preliminary,
Yeah,
I
Are
think
they
he
gonna
was
be current
kind
use then?
pardon?
Are they gonna be current use?
That's a current use lot, yep.
It is.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I have one on, no, that's full value.
I don't know, I'm just concerned with bumping those up.
You wanna go half, just make it at 35?
Maybe that, if
The
we-
building permit,
Yeah.
well, that, and if we're doing land use tax, I mean, we're just, you know, we're not gonna have things like building, I don't think.
What's gonna happen at the end of our year, if we keep bumping these up too much,
it depletes our surplus.
yeah, we won't have anything left to work with, I don't think.
So
Well,
we
they
would
don't wanna come up short either.
leave the current land use change tax at 60, the first account?
I think so, I mean, only because if some of the houses don't get built, the market's tightening a little bit, I think, so,
Okay.
Interest rates, we just went up again too.
yeah.
Now we've had a few good
Interest rate
years,
went
I
up?
just don't want,
They went up again, no, interest rates went up.
oh, they
this
didn't,
side.
I didn't know that, but,
Alright, so we're gonna leave motor vehicles at the same?
I would leave motor vehicles. Do you wanna go back to 60 on land
I
use?
did, yeah,
60 lane use, okay.
And then,
leave the building at 30 for
at
now,
30,
in case.
okay.
And we'll see how it goes this year, Lee.
Alright, and then, other licenses, I leave it at a flat, we collected 12 last year.
I think 10's great.
Yeah.
10 is great.
That's good,
But looking
okay,
at the total down there, 825 is good there, I'd say too.
that's all combined, but
Yeah.
actually it's gonna be reduced now by 20,000. So it's gonna be
805.
805 for that, those previous accounts. Next group is the, from, federal government or other government sources.
So
Hi-
these, I think, Lean, if you leave them right where you have them,
Uh-huh,
it will be fine, because, you know, we got a lot more in our rooms and meals, but we're not gonna bank on that.
nope,
So the
We should
175.
never really bank on that.
right.
So I think we should leave them all right where you have them.
Okay, because the only one is the rooms and meals, last year we set it at 175. In prior years, for the last 15 or 18 years, it was 135, which was a
Yeah,
little
so you have
low.
a marker wrong here, your budget of 2024 should be 175 or something.
Right, I'm just saying,
See how you have 302 twice there?
302, no, the 2024 budget was 302,871, and the actual was 302,871, and the budget itself was adjusted because the DRAs used the money at tax rate setting. So
Oh,
I have to
That's
go,
why you bumped the budget.
I have to
Okay.
manipulate the system, go back
So we're
and
using
say,
175 as a placeholder only.
just as a placeholder.
Is that year you Is that the first year you ever, manipulate the budgets back? I don't remember you doing that before.
Well, the auditor says I have to match what the tax rate on the MS 434 is.
It's hard for us to follow.
I know, but that's why I have to make these notes, and I have to go back to my original proposal, because if you look at the town report said we were, anticipating 175. I find it easier to track, but it doesn't match the MS 434R, which is the reviewed revenues by the DRA. So that's why that.
Leo, you had a question on our budget?
Nope.
Oh, I thought you.
No,
projected.
scratching.
And then I gotta check it,
Giving you,
when I got the physical payment in December, the end of December, it actually was 1163 higher than what we projected at tax rate setting, so I bumped it up,
Okay.
I
okay?
think it's fine.
So that category's good as it's set. Income from department, that whole group of accounts is 3401. We typically only budget one account line for 30,000 for income, and then 25,000 for recycling income. And you can see in the center line, the actual, our projected budget was 55,000, we came in at 81,877, and I kept it flat.
I think that's legal.
Most of the revenue is in the transfer station. We have recycling income at 40,000, transfer station disposal at 22,000. So there really wasn't a lot of other. And then the special duty admin money is actually a kind of a pass-through, because we have other expenses that we have to cover.
It goes to the vehicle fund.
No, not that one. That one goes into the general surplus, but there are offset expenses that are covered from this
Okay.
revenue.
Right, okay.
So I left that flat. Are you the board okay with that? Page 3, sale of town property. We don't typically put anything in there. That $15,050 is the money we received from the sale of the ambulance, was it? Fire truck? Fire truck,
And fire truck.
yes, fire truck. And that gets deposited into the revenue. The next category is
I think
3502.
this year we put it into his, capital reserve fund.
Yes, less the 10% fee.
Right.
So that's what we actually collected. What we're allowing him to put to the warrant is the less than 10%. Interest, we typically just leave it 1,000. Miscellaneous revenue category, we wouldn't put anything in it. Those are just things that are unknown that come in that we have no control over. So my projected revenue for 2025 was $3,020,050, and we've just reduced it 20,000. So the adjusted projected revenues will be $1,300,500.
I knew what you meant.
Are you in agreement with that?
what is it, 1,003,000?
300 even, with 500, yeah. So last year, before any DRA tax rate setting, we had projected 1,289,500. This one was 31 higher, now we just took 20, so we're still 11,000 higher than our projection for
That's
2024.
a conservative, approach.
Yeah,
I like conservative approach, thank you.
Okay,
okay, I'll make those changes.
that being said, we're gonna move on to our operating budget total,
Yeah.
proposed by the departments.
All right. So again, these are gonna change based on the discussion tonight with encumbrances, but, I'll just go through the different categories. Executive, there's an increase of 6,433. That's pretty much those are all, pay-related positions, and the 3% COLA is applied in all those categories. Next category is election registrations and vitals. The department head presented a budget based on her needs. The three salary lines at the top are affected by a 3% COLA. Her increase for 2025 over 2024 is $3,759.
That's the one we wanted to plus up for, those safes, for those, file cabinets of maybe, $4,000.
4,000, but but I thought I think it's wiser to put it in the building and
Building,
maintenance.
okay, gotcha,
No,
Okay.
not building and maintenance, you're on
Not
the
building
office
maintenance.
supplies.
It's the
supplies.
office equipment,
gotcha,
And
okay, when we
repair.
get there, we'll add that, okay.
got it, so that's 4,000 rounded. Financial audit services, we have contract, we did hire a CPA accountant to work with us. He's done a little bit of work with us, not as much as we would have liked to, so I just reduced that by $2,000. The remainder is contractual with our auditor that we are working with. Tax collector is 3% increase. Bottom line for the category, let's see some of the other items. The computer support services went up $3,000. That's because I have an additional user with the fire department and their computer and laptop that they have been utilizing. And then the welfare director has also requested additional equipment and software that requires computer support. That's the whole category is an increase of $4,051. Assessing department, the board of
What was it?
assessors reduced their their appraisal services down to 18,000. We had bumped it up slightly because of some litigation that's going on with St. Susie, but now that we're in a reval year, their services will be shifted to a different budget, so that has a $549 increase.
Didn't you guys wanna add to the supplies in the town office?
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
so it's 4,000, so instead of 451, it's gonna be 8,051 increase.
Yeah, and you're gonna add it to,
Um,
19,620.
Office equipment and repair. So it'll be
Oh, the office and equipment.
$6,500 instead of 2,500.
Supplies and office, we're at,
No.
Office equipment
Office
and repair,
equipment. Second line.
from the
down.
top,
oh yeah, office equipment. How much you adding to that?
4,000, cause it was just under 4.
I
For
thought
the-
it was more than that.
Nope, it was
I'm
39,
pulling it here.
36.92 plus shipping, so just under
Right.
4.
I guess I called out, I've been following the fine print here, it's the same
Oh.
thing.
Okay, that's,
I'm saying, what are you talking
She
about?
makes it big so I can read it.
You got
Thank-
glasses.
so the financial administration will go up $8,051. Any more questions in that category?
Nope.
Assessing department, because of $549 increase. Computer support, which is the vision, tax card, that's gone up slightly. And because there's a reduction on the assessing services by 2,000, it kind of is a wash. So there's only $549 increase. Any questions?
Nope.
Legal.
Went down to,
Well, yeah, I lowered, the planning, because I talked to Donna and asked her if there's anything coming up that she's hearing scuttlebutts about with, planning or zoning, and I thought that we had, the opportunity to make a slight adjustment
selectmen legal, we wanna go down a little bit?
up to the board.
2 years in a row, 14 and 13,
No, that's legal, that's the BOA is above it.
BOA legal and
Yeah.
selectmen legal.
We'll make it 15.
That's what I mean, both could be 15.
We have a reval year, every time we have a reval year, we have a lot of, abatements and appeals to the Superior Court. I mean, I would agree with 5,000 lower on the selectmen, cause I don't think we have,
I agree with that, I suggest lower ours.
So just go to 15,000 on selectmen
I'm
and
with
leave,
it.
leave the BOA?
Yeah,
okay, so that would
So
be,
drop at 4,
I think consensus, yes.
yeah.
Good.
so what was that again, Dave?
Drop at 4, so,
Board of, selectmen, drop it down to 14?
no, yeah, to drop to 15,
Okay.
savings of 4,000.
Correct,
In
right,
parentheses, so your total savings 6,000.
6,000, that's correct, yep, all right, we have
Okay.
a reduction, got it. Personnel. Social Security, I calculated all the, payroll, there's an increase there of, about $8,000. Medicare, I went over on last year's budget by just under, about $600 or $700. I looked at the, payroll accounts again carefully, and came up with the $20,475. Retirement,
That jumped a lot.
that's a big one. I had under budgeted, based on the stipend in lieu of, health, and then the added, full-timers, so there's a big jump there. The workers' comp did not have a holiday credit, so you're seeing, and those notes are on a smaller version, I just didn't, include it because we're already at like 20 pages here. So if you look at for example, workers' compensation, 2024, the actual cost would have been $19,244, but we received a holiday credit of $9,363.
Now, that's tailored to all participants in the insurance program, not just
Correct.
us, that's not tailored for us.
So our 2024 budget was under budgeted because of a holiday credit. Same thing happened with the,
Now we're paying for it
we're
this year.
paying for it, yeah. So same thing happened with, workers' comp, unemployment, still had a slight decrease without a holiday credit.
That's true, just going over compensation up to 21,000.
Yeah, that's the true cost. If we hadn't gotten the holiday credit last year, that particular line would have come in at $19,244. So looking at the year to year would have been a $3,000 increase.
Is that for sure, that there's no holiday credit this year, for sure?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
We would have been notified earlier.
They have to
okay.
notify us, and then if we don't respond, then they give us a check, and
Gotcha.
and then you have the opportunity.
Why
to
is longevity jumped so high?
Well, longevity hasn't changed, we have 2 employees at the max.
So why are we at 14?
We have, 2 other employees that are in the middle, and then we've added, the part-time longevity, we have 1 employee that qualifies, and then they have the long-term.
So that'll be the actual amount?
Correct.
So we doubled the longevity this year?
No, what I do have in there, and I've had remarks from the auditor, is that we have to be prepared for retirement plan liability. And currently we have 2 employees that are eligible for retirement of, 1/3 accumulated sick hours. So, in the event either one of those retires, then
I
we
thought
have
they couldn't accumulate 6 hours anymore.
No, this is longevity other liability. So the auditor has said that we have to be prepared to expend or have the funding to pay any liability that is due an employee in the event that they leave. Look at this piece, this little one has a detail of it. So 20 years of service, you can get 1/3 of the accumulated sick time. Maximum accrual is 240 hours. 240 hours at the rate of hourly rate is a liability of almost $6,000.
So if they don't leave, we still have $6,000.
You still have 6,000 that will lapse.
It's just that we're making sure the
So in
budget,
our policy, we give them 1/3 of accumulated sick time?
Yeah, that's if you make the 20 years. You have 2 employees currently at that 20-year exceeded rate.
So that's why our actual is,
Who do we need to fire?
Yes, Justin, that is correct.
that's what he's asking, is why,
Correct. So-
why the actual is
so the-
7,000 and then the budget is.
So last year was my first year, and the last couple of comments from the auditors is that this was not being accounted for. So rather than put it in somebody's budget, I put it in a safe spot, so if it doesn't get spent, you can see the actual was 7,300, which is the longevity, but the budget was 13,617 for the liability.
It'll go into our excess revenues.
if they don't quit, if they quit.
If they retire,
Okay.
And then the other big one is the health, and if you look at your little note, smaller version, we have med plans for 9 full-time employees, which equates to $198,274, and that's just the employer's part. The majority of your employees are paying 20% of that out of their pocket. Med plan for 3 full-time employees in lieu of medical are collecting $17,923. And that's part of the area of why I went over budget for the actual, is because somehow the numbers that I.
So it went up $76,000 over what we had budgeted.
Uh-huh. That's a big jump. And,
60/40 next.
the 2024 plan was calculated for 10 full-time employees. And this one here is calculated for 12 full-time employees. One of which is
Yeah.
5 months for a police officer and 12 months for the highway worker,
Okay,
okay? Those are the big changes.
planning and zoning's flat, that's easy.
Yeah,
Town meeting,
Government buildings, yeah.
so in
How
the,
come the dental, it says 2025 is only for 10 full-time? That shouldn't be for 12?
no, we have people that, don't get health, they only get
Oh, okay.
stipend in lieu of, so.
Okay.
We did have one person that wasn't enrolled and, pick up the dental, and they can do that, they can get either just the dental, just the medical.
One time a year,
When's open season?
one time.
We do it in December,
Open
yeah,
season.
open,
Sounds like
open
years.
enrollment.
That's what they call it?
Yeah, open enrollment, not open season. That's a movie.
It is.
Okay, and,
Touche.
Cemetery's good, that's flat. When's the cemetery going back down again, anyway?
Never. We're actually going up this year, cause you're trying
you
to.
just gave them
plus
some
us
more
up.
money.
Yeah,
Make it happen with your numbers.
So you gotta plus up cemetery, correct?
well, wait till,
Yes,
Well,
wait till we're gonna do some erosion control in east, wait for the Warren article now.
Okay, you gotta go government.
so, total.
How much
was
was
that
that
to the-
Yeah, okay, I'm with you. So cemetery gets plus a little bit.
He's getting the number.
150, we're gonna leave that, right, like we talked about?
The increase on the cemetery is gonna go up
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
$3,313.
That takes care of all three of them?
All three that are on that encumbrance line.
Well, I thought you said you already paid 600.
I'm gonna look, cause if it's in that pack you just packed, I'm pulling it and canceling it. If he hasn't done it, he brought it in like he was ready to pick up his check. I'll check with him first, or if you can check, I'll make sure I check with
I was
Mike.
gonna say, we just had a meeting Tuesday and I was
Okay.
told that,
He ain't working this cold.
well, yeah, it has to be glued, I mean, you're not gonna
Exactly.
glue them and all our gates are shut, so.
Yeah, okay, I will verify that he had,
So what's the total you're gonna bring some?
increase is gonna be 3313, so it's gonna be 7,713. 27,713 is gonna be their total.
What can we cut in that department?
We're gonna add that to cemetery improvements.
So you're mowing, you have
Okay.
a contract for that,
Put that in
right?
there,
Yeah.
Cemetery improvements, second line?
yep. 3313, okay, got it.
Cornerstones, that's small. Everything is small except for your first,
Well, cornerstones, we leave that as a placeholder, we don't typically expend that money out of there because we don't. People buy the cornerstones, so we charge the person for the cornerstones.
Pass through.
So they pay for their own cornerstones, so it's been an account in that,
In the future, you could put $1.
yeah,
and
I
put your money
mean,
in others.
well, again,
But-
you guys always told us we could pull money, as long as we don't exceed our total
Bottom line.
budget amount, we just kinda.
do
left
you guys
it.
have any money left to pull out of those funds?
The expendable trust?
You know, that's where you should be looking for to plus up your slippery slope.
Well, these funds
Well, we
that they
do.
collect don't come into the town, they go into that expendable trust.
Right,
And he's got a check in there today.
but he was talking about a warrant article.
I know, but we don't have enough money to do what we need to do with it.
You don't, out of that fund?
Are you looking for a warrant article for this year?
No, we decided not to do it this year and.
But I'm just saying, you could do a portion with those funds if you,
Oh, yeah, they could do that.
I know, we've already looked at the possibility.
Justin, just going by the cemetery, I think it look great.
Yeah, it's just like, that project's just a substantial project to
Yeah.
loam and like, to do some sort of hydro seed that's actually gonna take out there, it's like just a.
There's loom the
If you-
top down, cause it's all gonna slide down the
Well, that's
bottom.
exactly it, so,
It's
to
just,
do a big enough portion of the project, it's gonna cost a,
yeah, but
big
Page's
enough
Corners,
amount.
I've never seen it look as good as it did, in the last 15 years, it's looking great.
yeah, we're slowly progressing, it's just east.
The Reese had a lot, I think, too, when you drive by on the fences
Yeah.
and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, looking great, okay, I'm sorry.
Alright,
Alright, insurance went up, again, if you look at the small written version, it says that we had a holiday credit.
So that property liability was
2024,
up.
the actual insurance liability for the town was $44,320, but we received a holiday credit of $9,555, so our adjusted budget for 2024 was $34,764. This year, our actual without a holiday credit is $51,367. This is an increase of $16,303 if you compared the no holiday credit to no holiday credit, we have a $16,000.
Again, it's no chance we're gonna get a holiday credit.
No,
What's,
a lot
what's
of
the
these
insurance other than for?
we have additional vehicles, we have newer vehicles, we have the addition on the, library. There are a lot of added costs that have increased our property and liability. Any other questions?
no,
Okay. Police department,
just sadness.
so Chris, presented the budget. The budget increase is $44,446. 23,637 of that is for the new sixth officer for 22 weeks. And then the remainder would be, COLAs and or contractual. There was, a proposed stipend for OIC to go from 2,000 to 3,500 that he had proposed for his sergeant. So that was one thing you guys said you would look at again.
Chris, are we gonna take one whole officer out of this now?
No, because we're trying, yeah. Oh, it's like, oh no.
Oh boy, here we go again, he said.
Oh man, it's just, yeah, recruitment, something.
So, we gonna keep that discussion for after the revenues?
Yes. Well, the thing is, see, I think, there was some discussion I had earlier in the week, but I think he's gonna decrease, take some money out of the full-time line, crime control line, and put a few more dollars in the part-time line, because he's gonna be utilizing that part-time officer who's vacating, who's leaving us. How much
Without
you-
affecting the bottom line.
Not affecting, how much was it? Was it 4,000 you wanted to move over?
4 or 5, yeah, I gotta double check the
Okay,
numbers,
just-
somewhere in that ballpark.
So there's gonna be some changes within, but not the bottom line effect. You just gotta get that
Oh.
clean.
Hey, oh no, I can't. I said, I still have to hold those medical, budget and other things in place for when he fills the position.
Right. We'll probably get some initial savings by
There'll
not
be
filling
some
it.
surplus in retirement and medical while
Yeah.
those positions are
It
open.
might end up excess revenues next year,
Right.
we
Yeah,
have to hold
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Who are we gonna talk about the officer in charge,
The what?
officer in charge stipend increase?
Oh, yeah, you did wanna discuss that, Mike.
Are we doing that now or later, what are we doing?
Might as well do it now. You get the,
Chris, when you came in for your original budget, there was a little bit of a shell shock when you wanted to, go up on the officer stipend. I'm looking for the line item that time, Justin, can you help me there, you see it?
No, it's right
It's
here.
under-
It's on
You
the,
gotta look at the little one, it's got the
I was gonna say, it's
detail.
on the, right
It's
here,
on
that's
page
right.
7 at the bottom.
It's right there,
Yeah, okay.
changing from 2,000 to proposed 3,500.
Where do you see it, Mike? Where is that section?
Sorry.
Oh, right here, got it. So, we were thinking that an increase is justified, we just didn't think it should go up that much all in one shot.
Okay.
And my thought is this, Chris, it was originally, I think, $1,200 each.
Right, for him and I, yep.
And then it went to 2,000 for him during that COVID period, I think, cause you were out of the picture, you were chief.
Right.
And then, it went up. Proposed to 3,500. We were thinking there should be an increase there, cause we do understand the amount of hours he's using. But at one point, we're thinking, one of your other officers is gonna step up another notch also,
Mhm.
and you'll end up with two stipend amounts. And we don't wanna be doubling 3,500.
Sure.
And that's my thought, in the long run, you're gonna have another officer climbing the ladder up, and you're gonna have a guy right below Brian that's gonna be able to do that, and you're probably not far off from that at this point.
Couple years, potentially, yeah.
But you know, so, that was my thought with it, and, I didn't wanna see us doubling that and having $7,000 or $8,000 at that point. So, whether you can look at that again and come back to us before, cause we're gonna look at the budget all one more time.
I'll do that, I'll come up with some ideas.
Yeah, if you can.
Yep.
I don't think we need to,
I was gonna say, let him come back to us.
we don't need to beat this thing to death, but that was our,
I think your budget presentation was overall excellent, that was the only small hiccup.
Fair enough.
The increase was just a little bit of, I'm gonna use the word exorbitant.
I was gonna say, just a little aggressive.
Yeah, exorbitant, yeah, and that was the only constructive criticism we had.
No, fair
and
enough.
nothing to do with the activities, just, I know someday we're gonna have a second guy.
Right, no, fair enough, I'll put together a couple ideas and come back to the board.
But I agree with Dave, it should go up, but not by that big number.
Sure.
Leave it at that. So we need to get back to the board, before we finalize that line,
You don't have much time, let you know.
okay?
I'll try
Next
to
me-
put something
next
together
meeting.
next week, yeah, for the following week's meeting.
Okay.
Any other questions in his?
When are we doing our final numbers next meeting then?
Next meeting, but I don't think with these changes that we're gonna be ready, so I'll be calling for a workshop.
Okay.
I just can't do it, there's a lot of things that are, I have to
No, I
have,
think if we just concentrate on this, we should be fine.
Yeah.
Just the budget.
What, for a special meeting?
Yeah.
yeah.
Doesn't even take long, there's not much on any of the rest of these items to change, I don't think.
No, we'll come in, it'll take longer to drive here.
Do you think it's possible, even after reviewing these tonight, that you may do some more cuts?
I think we're
Because
there.
maybe we need to look at it one more sweep tonight, so that you can give me more definitive numbers. Because
Yes,
right
it's-
now, all I'm seeing is adding with the changes tonight. Very little, there might be one item that's
We're
lower.
cutting the revenues.
Chris, work on your proposed change, get it to Lean, and we'll just review when we're at our next meeting.
We have time for him, but overall, I'm just saying.
But not for us.
You guys don't have time to give me some cuts again next meeting.
Let's just finish reviewing it now, and then maybe we can take a breeze through it a second time.
Okay,
Let's get through it one
alright,
time first.
so no other changes on police, fire department?
I don't think there's any changes that we can make there with that.
No.
Beat that to death.
Administrative part-time, we, on the small summary sheet, I believe I put the notes in there for what was, 76,000 covers one EMS service position at $20 an hour, 9 hours, 5 shifts. And then it also includes a budget for volunteer firefighters, 29.2, so that's how we came up with the 76.
And when does that start?
He is going to be coming before the board because he has some recommendations that will increase the hourly rate for the EMS, but maybe starting a little bit later. So he said he's gonna try to work within this budget, but he's
Yeah,
got, already
that
got,
doesn't help us for the next year's.
yeah.
Once that hourly rate goes up, you have
Oh.
a full year the following year.
No, this is for an outside service, though that hourly rate is for somebody who comes in per diem
Yeah.
and sits at our station and has training. So he's gonna present his, argument.
So we
but he
can't
knows-
cut that, is basically what I was trying to get at.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
that's correct, please do not cut it.
Okay.
Everything else, the only thing, that's, it's pretty much flat budget, except for the mutual aid, and that's based on a per capita, so we have no choice, it went up $3,000. So the overall increase in the fire department is $76,910.
And the majority of that seems to be, the two contract, the two, positions.
Changes in
personnel
personnel,
positions.
yep. Any questions, on fire?
No.
Okay, building department,
I don't think there's anything to change there,
which one are you looking at?
building department, all
Okay.
of them.
And again, if you look at the small, report, she has budgeted, the new hire at step one for 20 weeks at 8 hours, or excuse me, 20 hours at 8 weeks. So she thinks that she can train them well enough so that they start at part-time, basically, and then go into a full-time status, and then if they do well enough and go directly into full-time, she said she would resign or step down, so there's not gonna be a expenditure on that budget, so she's done a good job in, presenting her budget.
Do we have an accurate leave time,
Well, she's going to, her leave,
Donna? Yeah, she,
she gave us the December 31st, but when she gets this person in place, she will be flexible and or things may change.
I give her kudos because she's doing this good succession planning,
She is.
and so
she really
please
is.
extend that to her, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
So when are we gonna try and advertise that?
Um,
Waiting for like September or something? The-
8 weeks is what,
Yeah, but that-
3 months?
that's 8. 8 weeks is 2
4
weeks.
weeks,
Oh.
1, 2, 2.
I think September,
months.
September for sure,
September?
what do you think? That's
Yeah,
three
September,
months,
October,
I mean, we need to
November.
advertise
They
it,
need, someone needs to start by November,
right,
So
so
we
we should,
should-
August,
yeah.
yeah. Let's target
'Cause
August,
someone may be looking to start after like the,
Labor,
after the summertime.
Yeah.
August, September, advertise?
Yes, early September or definitely, I'd
I
say
would
August.
say maybe August.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I think consensus is August,
Okay,
because
'Cause
November,
again-
December is a,
We would want them to be at least trained by December 31st.
Exactly.
If she's willing to potentially leave maybe a few weeks early or something, that
Right.
she's flexible, you know?
yeah, or you find somebody that's trained enough to.
Yeah. So,
okay,
Next line's emergency management, it's a flat $1,000, John uses that for the community center in the event we have any issues. We did spend some of it, and the other, option that he used, applies to it is the generator services, and this year we needed some service.
Yep,
Highway. Highway has increased 96,641. The bulk of that is in the highway full-time, adding a second position. And then there was an increase in the paving and, construction line from last year, about $20,000. Roadside mowing went up for services, just a couple of $1,000. Diesel and fuel, because of a second person in the department, he's increased that slightly by $5,000. Department equipment, he, bumped that at, he has some, projects he wants to, address, and last year he overspent that, didn't think he would need to,
what'd you say went up by 20,000, I thought you said paving.
paving,
Yeah, paving.
highway paving and construction,
22,000.
yeah. I will have all those numbers for each line.
295, 307, 273, okay.
273 was the actual budget.
Yeah, and remember the department equipment and maintenance was the one that he said he messed up, but he thought it was supposed to be 10,000.
Okay,
I'd say it's fine the way it is.
Solid waste,
okay, solid waste.
All the things we can't
Yep.
do.
Salvation Army, I think the rest is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Library went down a little bit.
Yeah, that's actually a revised number, they had come before the board with a budget request of 133,000 and change.
Yeah,
She just sent that to me after their meeting on Tuesday night, so Wednesday morning, saying that their revised request is 128,595, so that's a decrease of about $5,000. So unfortunately, my numbers aren't at 100% correct, but you can get an idea that the total for 2024 was $3,319,729. The proposed 2025 budget is coming in at $3,735,507. That's before those changes you made tonight. So we have an increase of $415,775, which is a 12.5% increase. But if we use the surplus that we have from the operating budget. So as of this report, we had $123,036 lapsing from the operating budget, which will change slightly. And then the revenues, which is based on this other report we have, our projection, our revised proposed budget was $1,431,509, and we came in at $1,648,764, which gives us an excess surplus of revenues, $217,255. So the combined lapsing operating budget and the excess revenues brings us at $340,291, which reduces our actual increase for the operating budget to
If we apply those two.
$75,487, which drops it down to a 2.3%.
If that's,
Not bad.
That is
It's going to change.
if that's what we do with it.
Right,
Yeah,
that's,
oh, my head
we
hurts.
got major personnel changes.
Yeah, we've been forewarning the taxpayer that there was going to be some
Now,
growing
if we can
pains.
go through this and slash this.
What? We wanna do it again?
I don't see much we
We wanna
can
move on to
cut.
warrants.
Thing is,
What do you think?
Article.
I think the chief offered his vehicle, he said one less vehicle is needed because.
We can cut a couple $100 of fuel. He leaves it at the station.
good news is the car is paid for itself, no tax dollars.
Alright,
Do you have the warrants?
I do. One more time, guys, let's go.
Don't mind if I stay.
I only,
Making me
I
feel
see-
nervous, like if something happened.
I skipped page 1 because that's the operating budget and I haven't got the numbers in it yet. So we'll move right on to Article 4.
Let me get that. Which
I
staff
have
is
it written on the top, warrants, page 2 through 4.
Oh, we got the library budget thing?
Well, that was just to show you that there was a decrease in their revised.
Number.
Everyone have it?
Yep,
Okay, so we'll go right to Article 4. We are proposing the 15,000 to be deposited. That was a recommendation by the Board of Assessors. The 15,000 is a 4-cent tax increase on the budget, or on, over the budget. Any questions on that article? I don't
The
think so.
same as last year, right?
Yep.
Article 5 was $75,000. This is coming from the statistical, or the
Yeah.
capital reserve account. That was put to a bid, and that will cover the cost for that, no impact to taxes. Number 6, see if the town will vote to raise the $50,000 for the transfer station vehicle and equipment.
Let's make it 25, cause they had the wrong year,
Okay,
so 25,000,
so you wanna reduce it, so that instead of 12 cents will be 6 cents.
yeah.
Okay, so
Are you sure you wanna do that?
Is everybody,
budget,
We're a year off on it, they were thinking it was a 2025 purchase and it's a 2026.
six, then you're talking about the,
skid steer or
Skid steer.
something?
Yeah, but.
And he already has money in there.
Yeah, I know, but what, are we never gonna plus it up for any other purchases?
No, after he purchases that, he has a thing all spread out on the capital reserve when he needs to replace each item.
Currently, as of
So we don't need
today,
I don't
Plus
think,
that
I don't think that truck was really getting accounted for, but.
right now
What's his
today,
His backhoe wasn't accounted for, no.
It's not, the backhoe won't be it till the following years.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean? If you put in
wasn't on that
25,000 a
capital
year,
reserve. It wasn't on that capital
we're
reserve.
rebuilding the whole backhoe, we're certainly
yeah,
not
I'm
getting
spending
rid of it.
5,000 on it.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just
Um,
saying,
Can I just
again,
let the board
nearsighted
know?
as far as the far sighted.
Okay.
I go in between, let's make it 30, let's keep it, what do you think?
Whatever, 25.
Alright,
Just gonna see it later on, so.
Either pay it now or pay it later, but I think the whole purpose of collecting money is so we don't get those huge spikes.
Yeah, exactly.
alright, so in the capital reserve for the transfer station, there's 52,512. This will add 25 to it.
Yeah, we're gonna put another 25 next year, so there'll be more than enough.
So is
For
the
a
board
skid steer
consensus, 25 or 30?
Nope, he had about 65,000 for a new skid steer when he figured it.
And they're gonna be 90, so he'll have that account cleaned right up next year.
Okay,
We're not getting one like you buy, Justin.
alright,
What are you gonna get?
The winter one, A.
Hard tire rig.
A radio,
Yeah,
A radio two.
so we're good with
Yes.
Article 6,
Yes.
25,000?
Yes.
Okay, Article 7 is for fire department vehicle capital reserve, that's the surplus that sold the old ones going into the bank. Article, 8. This is his typical 75,000 deposit into the fire department emergency, capital reserve. Dave, you had noted at the previous meeting to reduce it to 50,000. Currently, as of December 31st, there's $160,000 in there. There is the next article that is, we're going to be requesting 88,000 out of there,
Out of the 160.
out of the 160. But we will, if the board is in agreement, that,
Well, I know we have new command vehicle done,
Mhm.
brand new fire truck,
Yeah.
brand new ambulance, so
Yep.
I think reducing it to 50 makes good sense.
I can live with that.
Yeah,
everybody?
50.
50, okay, good. All right, Article 9 is the new one that John mentioned at the, last meeting. He didn't have the numbers, Brandon's been working very hard, he's got 3 quotes, working on a 4th quote, and he said it's coming in just under 88,000, so that's what he's requesting for. And that would come out of the capital reserve, so there's no tax impact. Are we okay with that?
Yes.
And 88,000, that's a 3/4 ton. They're using the
Command vehicle, yeah,
command vehicle, they're using the state bid.
yeah.
Maybe it's 88 must include all the lights
I
inside.
believe it's all the equipment as well.
Yeah. I'll double check
Radios
with
and
it.
stuff, they must have
Yeah.
radios that match yours.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably pulling some of the stuff out of the command vehicle now.
Might be using
But he-
some of it, but,
He has to add the cap and
Right.
all the whole,
and a lot of that equipment in the Tahoe is probably incompatible with cars now, it's
Yeah.
pretty old.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, we're good with that one? Article 10, 20,000 deposit into the capital reserve. Dave, you had noted, earlier meeting, 15,000. Right now, this 20,000 is a 5-cent impact, 15,000 will bring it down to 4 cents.
Yeah,
we should leave it at 20.
that 20 isn't what's on our schedule, I don't know how it got to 20. We went up from 10 to 15.
This is the highway capital reserve. He was, right
Oh,
now.
highway, I thought it was the police, I'm sorry.
No, it's highway. Highway right now only has 15,000 in his capital reserve. Probably should say 20.
We have 2 new 6-wheelers,
Yeah,
so the next one we'll have to replace is the small 6-wheeler,
yeah,
the
the
550.
550 that he said was what?
So there's only
7 or 8 years old now?
14,825 in
Yeah,
there.
I think 20 may be all right.
Yeah, 20's okay.
20's okay, good.
Yeah, that'll be
All right.
about 100,000 when everything goes
Uh,
down.
What's in there now in the fund?
14,825,
Yeah,
Okay,
he needs it, he needs it.
all right.
At least.
The next one is for the police vehicle, equipment, capital reserve.
That's the one, Chris, didn't we do 15 on that?
I think,
We went from 10 to 15.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think we had discussed 20, but I could be wrong.
They had discussed 20 and.
They put 20, when you guys did the meeting with Don, I think somebody put 20 instead of 15.
I think the only thing with the, with that is, you know, we've had a really good detail year. I'll touch on that very briefly on number 12, but,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's kind of if we have a bad detail year, that extra money would help.
So
Every 2 years
currently,
buying
as
a
of
car.
December 31st, there's 27,970 in there. So there's 20.
We're not taking anything out of there.
We're gonna be,
No, oh, yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
You are,
I think
yeah.
20 may be all
so like
right.
the 20 will basically replenish a good chunk of what we take.
Okay, we'll leave it at 20 this year.
Okay, 12. I did finalize the special duty, revenue from vehicle, special duties in 2024. And we were able to, finalize that number at $22,000 from a different fund. So they currently have 27,970, we'll be adding 20,000. And then he's, gotten a price quote for 62,800, with 28 coming out of capital reserve and 22 coming from the special vehicle maintenance fund, and then 12,800 from surplus.
The 62.8 substantially higher than your last one, huh?
I think it's like 5 or 6 grand more maybe.
That's it?
But we're repurposing our mobile radio, and then the car is the state bid. Can I speak to that super quick?
Yeah.
I reached out to Joe Marie the other day just to get, because our guys are having like $1,500 weeks coming into that special duty fund
This year,
for 2024. They had a couple more good weeks.
but this is it, this is every dollar. I thought you had gotten that.
So what she sent me was 21,397 plus $4,412 outstanding from
She-
2024.
Well, if she hasn't received the money, I can't count on it until she receives the money.
Okay,
It could be on her spreadsheet,
yeah,
but if it doesn't hit the bank,
I would,
can't
I would
pay.
think it would hit by
I would guess.
March, I would hope.
Yeah,
But, at any rate, that brings us closer to 26. So that 12.8 that we would ask for from taxation would be under 10 in theory, as long as that money comes in.
but as of December 31st, I just transferred $17,050 to the treasurer, so she has a final number,
Chris,
which is 22.
I don't wanna, I think, I don't wanna be making last minute changes, I mean, we're just talking about a couple $1,000 difference here. I'd say go with that, and if anything comes in, it just goes back into your capital reserve
Right,
regardless.
we'll be using it later.
Yeah, so I wanna worry about a few $1,000s here.
Yeah, it's not, I'm not gonna make a penny worth of difference.
Thank you, exactly.
Hey, let him try and cut where he can.
And, actually, if I can just mention real quick, I'm gonna be placing the order with Grapponi because it's non-committal, so if the warrant article fails, it'll just sell the car to another police department. But this way, we'll be able to get the lead time started now versus
Yeah.
order in March and then wait till June, July, then we gotta do the outfit, this
Yeah,
way.
you already did speak to that. so-
Yeah, we could get like 3 months ahead, so,
And
Consensus
With
from
price
the board to
increases
go
too.
ahead and do that.
right.
Right, Dustin?
Sure.
Okay, so,
You're
Vote
pretty,
down everything else.
well, you're pretty giving to them, but you're not giving to any other
Well, he
department.
just tried to give us back some money.
Is it only
you guys
because he's
didn't want it.
standing here and he has cuffs, or what's the?
intimidation.
Yeah, cause he's standing, or?
Well, he gives me get out of jail
any other
free.
questions on Article 12?
No.
Next one, land purchase, we're looking at, this is the same amount that we put in last year, $10,000.
Cut that to 5.
Capital reserve, what did we decide?
So the land purchase capital reserve currently has $63,245.
And what was on Donna's card for that? Was it 10 or 20 or?
No,
The recommendation from the committee.
I don't recall, I don't have my CIP with
I
me,
thought it was at 20, but I'm not sure. Donna
okay,
has that information.
I will check CIP,
I don't mind, the thing is, the one parcel you were concerned with, it may
I
be
was gonna
available.
talk about tonight.
Yeah, I'd say, do we need to change this then?
I don't know the amount yet, but it wouldn't hurt to change it.
Is it even gonna matter? It's not even gonna be a drop in the bucket compared to what it's gonna cost.
We don't know that yet, Tristan.
And the
Don't
thing is,
speak out of turn.
Oh,
and the
Jesus.
voters are gonna have to chime in on the purchase anyways.
yeah,
I mean, there's 63 in there, this is 10.
yeah,
It's
it's
73, if
73,
it was 20, it'd be 83.
yeah,
You say it's not a drop in the bucket, but it could be.
Well, 10 to 20,000 is 10 grand. I mean, I know what $10,000 is.
So, you want
It's not that hard to
increase or
calculate.
do we wanna change it,
So-
is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah,
Put
To
20?
20,
consensus of the board? What do you wanna do?
Leave it at 10. Why don't we talk about it later if you're gonna talk about it later? If it goes
I'm only
along
gonna talk about the
with
land, not this part of it.
Oh,
okay.
We're doing this part of it this now, but.
I like the fact we're growing it, it was 10 last year, keep it at 10, and the thing is, but the bottom line, the voters are gonna have to, if it's more, if it's cost, it's substantial, voters will either give a yay or nay, and they're the final arbiters of of where they're gonna go forward with it.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this budget, a lot of years we had between excess revenues and, lapsing funds. We had a lot of money we could put towards warrant articles too if we wanted to. And I'm seeing with our budget increases this year, most of it's gonna most likely go to that. When you put it either way, but you're still paying out of one pot covering, whether you're covering warrants or you're covering the budget. And I think as a group, it looks better covering the budget for now and let the land stand on its own, but we do have that money in there, so.
Yeah, last year was a big, cost savings for the capital reserve.
I just thought if we looked at that CIP,
Yeah,
we've got this piece here, another piece possibly there. I thought we should be bumping it to at least like 20 so that there's some funds in there.
I'll 15.
Okay, 15 it is.
you guys are creating a lot of work for me.
15K.
Alright, got it. And I will get the capital reserve,
So up to 3 cents on that one.
All right, next
14.
one is new, I've added it. Dave, you asked me to talk about this and maybe, include
Okay,
some kind of
Lot
wording.
size will be 16 acres, not 147.
Well, you have to start with the lot and the size it is, it's 147 acres.
No, we
The-
don't, Lee.
But you're not buying the lot.
That's already
itself.
transferred into an
Right.
easement that we don't want. We are
Correct,
gonna be buying just the 16 acre parcel on a separate deed.
if you read the next line, it says the lot itself, F355, consists of 147 acres. The area of 16 acres not included in the conservation easement area as shown on a plan and recorded in Merrimack County Registry of Deeds, and further to authorize the selectmen to withdraw the sum of this money from the land capital reserve, fund established in 1997. I just threw some numbers in there, I wanted to get an article started, you said you would ask me if it was too late to add it. It's up for discussion, the 63,000 may not be enough, obviously that number's gonna change.
So I contacted the landowner, today, maybe we'll talk about it now we're on it. I didn't realize she had the whole warrant article. on
I
there.
don't have time, you
So,
moving.
anyway, what she was waiting for was Five Rivers was giving a value of the land to her. And when you do an easement on a property like that, they give you a value of the land, so then you get a tax credit on it. And she was gonna use the value that they use for the property to give a dollar amount for that piece of property, and that's how she wanted to calculate it.
So we're just a wait out right now.
And so, she is trying to be polite and not push them and overly push them, but the guy is supposed to have it ready for her for tax season, so she is, today I spoke with her and she's sending an email out to ask if he has those numbers for her.
I have his email.
Yeah, I do too, I just didn't wanna step on her toes.
We just don't have a lot of time here. If you wanna have it on the for public hearing discussion,
But the thing is,
Let's give her a couple days.
yeah, without this, we're stuck for a whole year,
Right.
without
yes,
having a special meeting.
That's
And I don't-
correct.
And I don't wanna.
No, we
I don't-
can't have a special meeting on land,
Right.
no,
so,
because we haven't adopted
it goes out for a
RSA.
whole year, so.
Yeah.
Just give me a couple days to give her and then I'll
Alright.
talk with her one more time.
So it could be up to 78.
She's just sent the email today, so I didn't wanna step on her toes, cause I have his personal phone number as well.
So Dave, you can come up with some wording for this, but this is something to start with.
Okay,
To see if the town will vote to authorize the selectmen to negotiate the purchase of land for the town, consisting of a portion of lot F355, known as the Lane Lot, and consisting of 147 acres, I'm missing a word there, the area of 16 acres not included in the conservation easement outlines to the taxpayer that this is what we're buying, 16 acres. It's not gonna get separated from the rest of the lot, it'll always be part of F355. So it's up to you if you wanna change it, but
it will not stay part of that lot, when we buy it, it's gonna have a deed and it'll go to the town of Dunbarton.
so we'll issue a new,
A new
does it have to
deed.
go, does it have to go,
It'll be F30506.
or 05-1 is how they're applying. They keep the parent lot, they add a fourth digit. But does that have to go to the planning board for a subdivision?
It will, it will go for a
Subdivision,
lot line adjustment, yeah.
no, and it's a
It
subdivision.
is a
If
subdivision.
you're taking up 16 acres away, it's a subdivision.
Yeah.
So then that would be added cost that we have to incur.
Yeah, and in that proposal, I was gonna get Jacques to give us an accurate cost on it. See, he did the original.
You got a lot of work to
survey.
do, Dave.
Yeah,
In a short amount of time.
But the thing is, some of the stuff, we just wanna get at least permission from the legislative body that we
To
can do it.
negotiate, yes, to
And-
do it.
And the thing is, then we have a whole year to work it out.
right,
Well, the
but
thing
I
is
will,
you-
I'll have a budget
Right.
from Jacques on the surveying.
Yeah.
And the deed work from the town attorney, and Jacques has a lady he works with all the time that I'm used to doing business
Cause
with.
again, we may not wanna put the full amount towards, we may have to keep some of the money to pay for those additional expenses.
I'll
Well,
add
you
them
can
into
word
this
it so that
warrant
it's-
article.
You can word it so that it covers the cost of purchase and other fees.
Yeah, and I'll have them correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, good, I'd say, kudos,
I
that's,
just need to get something rolling
Yep.
here.
Yeah, good job. Okay, on to 15.
All right, see, this is to discontinue electing the road agent and give the selectmen authority to appoint an expert highway agent. Any changes to that?
No,
Oh, there's no cost to that, I'm
Does
sorry.
it have to be an expert?
Well, the reason, well,
No, just busting your
okay,
chops.
that's the way the wording was from, other towns.
expert highway, no, novice.
It just sounds expensive.
That wording doesn't sound the same as those other towns that you showed us, is it?
Oh, yeah, it's
It is,
exactly
okay.
word for word. It
Seems
just-
weird.
I think it was Auburn that I took that wording from.
What's the tax impact, is it the
It should be
7
zero.
cents?
Should be zero.
Oh, I didn't know if that was his stipend that.
It's not, no,
Can we strike the word expert, I agree with,
okay,
just highway.
Well, I was just razzing about it.
No,
It
but,
just
but the
just
thing is,
sounds
it kinda like makes it like we're paying top dollar for someone.
well, then, can we use a different word, like qualified, or?
Qualified is fine,
So it'd be
Yeah,
A
qualified sounds.
qualified sounds better. Because,
Instead of and, make it A also,
Appoint a
qualified?
qualified highway,
yeah,
agent.
there we go, I like that.
highway road aid,
Highway agent? Do we wanna put the
Just
word
keep it
road
agent.
in there?
No. Highway agent, I think.
It's gotta have 007 in
Cause
his
the
name.
other two areas, it says the road agent,
authority to appoint a qualified road agent.
it should say road agent, because at the bottom
You
it
don't wanna say
says.
a highway agent versus a road agent, why you're,
Okay, I
Yeah,
got it,
you're changing the verbiage in the same
Two different,
paragraph.
yeah,
alright, so
It's
it's
gonna
gonna
match.
say a qualified road agent, just like the first sentence and the last one,
yeah, agreed.
got it? No impact to taxes on that one,
This year.
this year, yes, and then number 16 is new, and I just got the final numbers, which you can see, you have in your packet. She finally offered up the grant money that she had, because our contract read that we could buy it less the grant money that they received.
Where is that in our
You have
packet?
a copy in your
Remember
packets?
Right here, Jess.
I was glad to see that, you finally got that to me today. Attached is a lease agreement, page 2. I did hear back from PUC and GSS was awarded $18,408 for your system. Your final payment to GSS in February 2016 should be $31,592.
Now, how come that comes out of 2025 when it's a payment in 2026?
We have to do,
We
we
have
have to have the monies available
to pay them, and
in 2026 on the first part of the year, and we won't have it available
Budget,
to us
yeah.
unless we do it this year.
but if we have a contract, we can encumber those monies to pay the bill in February.
Don't forget to have them sign.
Hey, can you,
I
can
will.
you send this to Dana for me too?
I already did.
Okay.
Can we put verbiage in there to say it's gotta be, in a working condition?
Yeah, I was gonna ask
I
that.
think, well,
We'll
this,
work on all that.
I know.
Has it been repaired?
No,
the part has been ordered, and she just gave me another email saying she'll be out there in the next week or two. Next
You know what,
I won't hold my
you know
breath.
what, Lean?
What?
We may, put a note down, to put wording in here that the selectmen have the authority,
Okay,
because it is up to the select board to whether we purchase it or not once it's done. So if we put that money in there, we can,
We can say no,
like I say,
yeah.
we can negotiate part of that with them, cause if they don't maintain it, we can get a cost from another vendor,
Another vendor to come in.
and
I was
then,
gonna say, 'cause we're
deduct
not-
that amount from it.
Yeah, we wanna make it known that we don't have to purchase it.
I like it, like a lot.
so you want, would you put that at the end?
To see if the town
You have to raise the money.
will vote and raise and appropriate the sum of
To allow the
the selectmen.
Okay.
the selectmen to enter into purchase agreement,
Well, we'll vote to authorize the selectmen.
to enter into a purchase agreement or
Okay,
slash
you
negotiation.
just said 3 different things. I like, Justin, what did you say again?
Well, I'm just matching our other verbiage.
Yeah,
To see if the town will vote to authorize the selectmen to negotiate the purchase.
tell her what number it's on.
Well, it's number 14. I'm just
Okay.
rereading your
Okay,
verbiage
but
from.
it's gonna go after the wording of the purchase of the agreement? and
After you
then-
get by the dollar amount, then right
Yep.
there, put it
Then-
there,
And then write, and to vote to authorize the selectmen to negotiate the purchase.
Or to enter into a purchase agreement.
To purchase the PV array leased for the last 72 months, 6 years with the final payment followed.
put a note down, look at your number 14, Lean, and then you can make the wording right.
Okay, I may reach out to you, Justin.
So 7 cents is 32,000, Lee?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay,
That was higher. And that's it for warrant articles, other articles, I could say.
tax impact,
I didn't total it.
okay, we'll do that next meeting. Okay. So we reviewed the budget and reviewed the warrant articles,
And we have a good number for revenue.
now we're on mailbox items,
Yep.
okay.
What's in the mailbox?
You have one of these.
I'll watch,
I don't have a snapshot.
oh, here, I have an extra one. I'll just put it right here,
Oh, you thief.
I'm gonna take that one, Justin.
Trying to cut my budget too.
You have one, Leo?
No, he doesn't get that.
Okay. Alright, we have an email response from Donna White regarding the question on the skid steer for the CIP.
I think you already covered that.
We covered that, it's 2026, it's the purchase month per year. We have an hourly increased rate from Drummond Woodstrom, attorney rate of $2.55, associate rate of $2.45 per hour. Town attorneys.
I have no, that seems very reasonable.
Okay, we had a right to know request from Woody, Patrick Bone. He thought the, Board of Selectmen agreed to pay him time and a half to setting up the voting booths. Mike did some due diligence and found a, 2015,
2018.
2018, it's a 2015, oh yeah.
It was completed
2/15,
today.
2018. Yeah, where the agreement was to pay him for a minimum of 3 hours. If overtime was reached, then they could pay him. What happened is we had a holiday week and you get holiday pay. It doesn't bring your base pay to 40 hours, so, that's why that was in question, so that's been squared away and answered. So the next one here is an email from Zero Waste, talking about, the town could have a pay-as-you-go for throw. I had no interest in having him come to meet with us. Transfer station is a small, benefit to the town people paying their taxes, and I don't think we should charge them by the bag on a
He says
pay-as-you-go.
no, I'll make him go away, thank you.
Yeah,
I think consensus, just for the record, consensus by the board with that agreement, with that decision.
Yeah, that's fine. I have a dumpster.
we had a memo go out.
Pay anyways.
We had a memo go out for, part-time employees who qualify for holiday pay in 2025. Thank Hope for sending that out for us.
Did a good job.
I didn't receive my email. Can you let her know?
Oh, are you talking email?
Yeah, for my holiday pay.
We had an incident report with Primex for a small fender bender from the, police department. And that's been taken care of.
One new vehicle.
Board of Selectmen asked for a statement, in reference to the future milfoil grants, and it was confirmed that the grants will be available to us. Even if we skip a year, right?
That's correct.
So that's done. We also had a email from Woody, from Patrick Bone for the repairs that he would like to address in 2025. Paint and repair all buildings, replace the floors in the lunchroom and bathroom, replace the toilet in the bathroom, and repair loading dock. And the workbench. Those don't seem like huge dollar items to me, other than the painting and,
Well, the parking lot and outside of the loading dock's gonna need drainage and gravel, so there's a little bit there.
yeah, I mean, Still not like
I thought his
paving.
email was gonna,
Is that something that Jeff would do?
He
I would
has,
say
and,
Jeff would.
and he
probably
said
help
some of the
out
work
with
could
it.
be done by in-house, his crew.
Yeah, so I think he's giving us a heads up just to keep our maintenance line up and not
That kind of, yeah.
And could we supplement some of our maintenance line to
Yes.
his,
We,
well, if his crew wanted, if he wanted to use his labor and he didn't have enough in
I-
his
I would have no
labor, we
issue.
could just use our maintenance line for
for
that.
the materials and supplies, yeah,
Yeah.
good idea.
Yep, absolutely, yes.
If he's gonna, willing to use some of his guys if they wanted the additional hours.
Yep, I agree with that.
Good idea.
Yeah, I don't see much on here they're gonna be able to do though, I don't know.
Well, painting, some
Well, I
painting,
thought he said he had some stuff they would do.
yeah. Same email, I agree with you.
Yeah, small work, I guess.
Throw it out there.
We also sent a notice out. FYI notice sent out to all applicants, interested in the part-time fire chief position. Position has been filled. We had an email from, Chief Rumlard in reference to a officer status change. Got one officer that's gonna be leaving to go to work on his own and, gonna be working some hours with us still.
Yeah, I give the gentleman kudos for his stepping up and helping us out during this recruitment
Chris
period.
is not here, or is he?
I'm sorry?
Are you here?
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, are you gonna talk on that at all, or?
I know it's been a long night, if the board has any questions about the
Your email,
content of the
the email was great, I thank you for your.
Right, but you still have to
One,
decide.
one other thing we
I
wanted
thought
to go over, I think
Are
is,
we doing that in non-public or? Doesn't matter? I didn't know if we were going
It's up to
into
him.
non-public.
We're not really making a.
if we talk about dollar amounts, Chris, do you wanna go to a quick non-public?
Yeah, I think that'd be I'll be very brief.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what we'll do.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
We had an email from Chris about lowering the staff, flagged half staff.
Yeah, currently there's no one, we don't have a maintenance person, so there's, Mary will attempt, and typically, I apologize, Chris, I send it out to Mary and yourself, and if anybody responds, they can take care of it. But he had to send out his officer today to lower the staff. We had a resident come in and get angry with us because we didn't lower,
For Jimmy Carter?
yeah.
Okay.
But it has been taken care of, thankfully. But at some point in the future, as the personnel grows, these little odd job things have to be assigned to somebody we need.
Joe Marie,
I thought, you should discuss your idea, you proposal.
Well, I thought with the additional, highway worker, we could possibly talk to the road agent and find out if it's possible to lean on him to change bulbs, or fill salt softeners, or lower the flag, or doing the little incidental things that a maintenance person, or,
I think maybe the people at the transfer station will be better
but
suited for that.
they're all the way over there, and they're not always available on their shifts that we need something addressed. Whereas the highway department's gonna be Monday through Friday, and,
Well,
Yeah,
reach
but I
out to
feel like
Jeff, see what his thoughts
I
are.
just feel like the highways, they're only there in the morning and then they're all over. It's,
And they-
it's not like a light bulb, it's like to be here, they need to be here like in 3 minutes.
no, I'm just saying, that we have to think outside the box.
We need a
We're growing.
retired maintenance man like, Larry.
Hmm.
I thought at like joint loss, or some meeting, we had talked about Dawn was gonna try and help and it was gonna be like a joint
Yeah.
effort, I
I
don't
think
know
it
what
was like-
meeting
Who
it
was?
was.
Yeah,
Well,
Don,
between
Don Larson.
Chris and Don Larson and a couple people, you go, oh, we're gonna try and
yeah.
just work on doing the flag all together.
I
I mean, it's
missed that.
just,
But,
I don't remember what meeting it was, but
Yeah, I remember that email going out, and this one slipped through the cracks, but as soon as we were made aware, we addressed it, so.
Well, thanks for addressing it for
I mean,
us.
nobody wants to go out and
it's just
freeze
in the
cold
past,
like
we were
this.
fortunate to have a veteran that lived in town, in the center, who took care of it every single time, we didn't have to worry about it and think about it. And then when he retired, I leaned on Chuck Frost for a little bit, but he's way down at the south end. And then Fred Mullen is even further, and so the people that, pay attention to these things are just not available. Dan Scoot was handling it for a short amount of time, but he's no longer available, so they're
Put
just.
that on the new rookie officer.
And we're happy to help out, it's just, I think there was a lot of different points of contact and
Yeah.
confusion on who should be doing it, I
I
guess.
think I just delineated responsibility and let it.
Mike? I vote you.
I knew that was gonna
We
happen.
tried at one point.
He was,
to-
he was unreliable, he really was.
He's close,
He
he's
was
close, huh?
unreliable.
He's home all the time, he's retired, this is our guy.
Yeah,
Do I get it per
All right,
diem?
yeah,
moving on,
In your salary,
yeah.
part of the
uh,
multitasking job.
we'll try to work on that, I guess, Chris. We have a draft of public notice we're gonna put up in reference to the budget and, warrant hearing, it's gonna be February sixth. We knew this date before, we, listed in the previous meeting, beginning at 7:15. So snow date's February 13th. Okay. And we have Ashley responded back and said that they were gonna, schedule in the next 3 weeks, the updated microwave micro inverter. Never said anything about the other maintenance. Can we send her a follow-up email about the other maintenance?
I've been staying on top of them. You
I
guys
see.
are getting CC'd in
And
this.
so
one,
is
got
Dana, but
Yeah, but the
I thought
thing
we
is,
already did too, but she
isn't
just
it
doesn't
frustrating when
answer.
they're gonna want us to pay for 30 grand for this, and it's not even great operating
well,
condition?
if they don't, respond soon, we'll be able to ask them, how much do you want to take off the bid for having the solar panels not being functional?
Yeah.
It's 2 panels not functional also.
And the footings are not, the so-called footings are not the same as footings.
Okay, so that's all I have in the mailbox items. I'm gonna bring it back to, public comment.
Yep, first, are we having a meeting next week?
No, every other week.
It's gonna remain every other week at this point.
There may be a workshop which you could be invited to.
Okay, well, you just have to let me know.
Yeah.
I will.
And see if I can make it, yeah. The other thing is, this reminds me of the old days with the, Ted and the crew, these meetings lasting 9 to 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, chopping them up. All right, you're extending it. You got anything else?
Yeah, you're getting a discount for the rental on those, units that don't work down at the recycling center?
Not yet. All right, bring it back to town administrator.
I'm not-
Justin,
Nothing.
Michael?
There was a concern about, the policy concerning the town vehicle.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that.
Is, the purpose of, we allowed that, we voted on, we said we all voted in unison to allow him to come up so he could pick up trash.
Well, he could take it home and then grab trash on his way out.
Yes, and that was the sole reason for that, or was it also so he could go on fire calls?
Either one.
Fire calls was not discussed in a.
Yeah, cause we had a complaint from a firefighter asking why he showed up at off hours at night with the, transfer station truck and on a fire call.
Well, I didn't know that happened.
I think, no decision,
I'll
but
ask him about it
be
first.
aware of it, and I think we should just look into that a little bit, okay?
Yep. And I'll ask about the incident.
Thank you.
Bringing it back to me, I spoke about K-Land and the land, I did speak about that. I had asked to give the, Five Rivers people some time to make sure their stuff was all done. It is completed, so I waited for that time before approaching them. I've made a couple calls and that's where we are on that now. We took care of the John Deere invoice already, we're gonna pay that too. The other thing, Woody approached me about doing a warrant article, he was gonna give the stuff to Lean, and I said, let me bring it to the board first. He wanted to put in a warrant article for $4,600 to get a mower for the front of the skid steer. And it's basically to mow around those, array that we have down there. Right now, they use a DR mower with a string on it, and walk it back and forth and up and down, and it takes them, I think, 8 or 10 hours to mow it all in there, and they do it a couple times a year. I was there this year when Woody was doing it one day, and I could not, it was like 85 degrees, and I'm walking around with a DR mower, it's a pretty big area back there.
Isn't that one we just bought a couple years ago?
I don't know when they
Specific to that?
bought it. It's an orange DR mower. So he wants to get one for the front of his skid steer. He said with the mower and the attachments, it was $4,600. And he wanted to do a separate warrant article, and I said, let me talk to the board, because we may bump his budget up to cover it under one of his equipment items in his budget rather than.
the thing is, if it's gonna be replaced in 2026,
No, this is a mower, it doesn't stay with the machine.
that's what I'm saying, is it
It's a quick steer
is it
attach.
compatible with
Oh, yeah.
the future machines? That's be one concern I
Yeah,
have.
it's all hydraulic.
You know, where that'd be a good spot too. Just keep adding money to his fund and then just take it out of that fund.
He already has enough in there for it. But that's what he wanted to put a warrant article in there for, and I thought it might be a small enough
I'm
amount to
saying,
me, I
that's
would
what
put it in
that, that's what
budget.
that fund's for, we could just take it out of that fund and add it to that.
So you guys wanna do a warrant article, is that what I'm,
No warrant articles needed to take it out of the fund.
that's right, I just thought it'd be easier out of the budget, cause I don't think it's that much money, but. Your thought, do you wanna do another warrant article? Take it out of his budget?
I don't think you should. He just bought that other mower less than 5 years ago for that purpose, and it was like $1,000 or $1,500 mower. And now you want to put it on a old skid steer that you're gonna replace in 2 years.
Don't worry about the skid steer, cause it goes on any of them.
It goes on any, it
It's
doesn't
like
have
all
to be
my tractor
skid steer.
attachments, you change the tractor, you don't change the attachments. Same with Justin's attachments. They go from any skid steer, they're quick steer.
He does it
As long as
twice,
you buy-
twice a year? I
Yeah.
mean, twice a year, paying $4,000 to get it twice a year, heck, you could hire people to come down for less than that. They didn't have to go for 10 years for that much money.
I haven't really paid attention to the area, so I don't know how big it is.
It's pretty rough and it's pretty good size.
I wouldn't wanna mow it by hand if it takes 8 to 10 hours, so I feel for him, I'd buy the attachment for my property if that's was the case, but.
The other thing with the,
I
thing
look
is there, he says the workers I have down there, 2 of them are very well aged, he can't have them do it, and Breton doesn't wanna do it, and he has worked with Craig a little bit on it some, but can't just put any.
No, I'm not gonna say no, I'm not gonna say yes, I think, I'm gonna dwell, I wanna walk and see the area too.
He doesn't have enough in his budget, his current budget?
No,
He did bump up his equipment line
yeah, but he had
by
things for
$5,000 or
that.
$6,000, but,
Well, how's he coming back with so much this year? He
Coming
has
back.
25 grand in his budget coming back for 2024. He won't have $4,500 extra dollars next year in 2025.
I don't know that, Justin. I mean, those guys get as close as they can with their budget, but it all depends how they come out. Everybody has a little bit left.
mhm.
So I don't know.
I'm kinda leaning yes, based upon your input.
But the biggest thing I think is, I think our warrant articles are, there's enough warrant
I
articles.
mean, there's not a lot of money attached to it, so you're looking at 2 or 3 cents.
No, but
Well,
you're
no, he has
taking
the
money out
money.
of his fund,
Cause he
Oh,
has,
it's a flat?
flat
No, he
no
has-
tax free.
yeah, cause he has enough money in his budget now.
I
Are you
say,
talking about the capital reserve,
yes,
taking
it's
money out of
equipment,
there?
it says equipment fund.
Yeah, he has $52,000 funded from that.
Okay,
That's
so
what
you
it
don't
is.
mind doing a warrant?
That's another
article?
article. I'll add another one.
But there's no impact with numbers.
No, if
Oh.
you're using it from here, then there's no impact.
Alright, and I'll get you the correct wordage then.
I think
No,
I have
he
some
needs-
from a couple of
He
years ago.
needs to have, he get the exact amount of money.
He needs to
It's
give me,
4,600, but yeah, it's,
he has to give me a firm quote, or estimate of
Yeah, that's what-
something.
and we're gonna get you the right wording on it.
Justin, it has to be on an invoice,
Has to be signed,
only if it's an invoice.
No, no,
has to
Justin.
be signed. Can be an estimate,
I
but
hear
it has to be
sarcasm in
signed.
there, Justin.
Okay, I'll get you the correct wording on it right away, okay?
Add new article.
Skid steer mower,
Yep.
total will be 4,600.
Yeah, but can't you just do up to the sum of,
Yes,
like we've done in the
The
past?
Yes.
DRA doesn't like it like that, so they.
He did get an accurate quote though on it.
If I have a quote and I round it, then that's more, that, I need a quote in my,
you know when it could be.
Okay,
It's one.
I'll make sure we get that link to
We
you.
do that with that vehicle
but
all
he has
the
to give
time.
me the description of what the thing
He's
is.
gonna give me the whole
Got
quote,
it.
so you'll be able to pull what you
Skid
want up.
steer
This is mine,
attachments of some sort.
okay.
And that's gonna come from
I would love
capital
to, thanks
reserves.
for asking.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we go to non-public. Per RSA 91-8:3.